This is a complex issue. It involves land, it involves funding costs, it involves all sorts of taxes that I cannot understand.
It make no sense, yeah, it make no sense, no, it make no sense, yeah, make no sense, make no sense, no, make no sense, young boy, make no sense, no, it make no sense.
Haha, well, what's the crack? What's going on in Ireland makes no sense. As the housing crisis spirals out of control, RTE's attempts to cover the issues at hand have been laughable at best. Over the last few weeks, they've rolled out Eddie Hobbs, Michael O'Flynn and Conor Skehan to lecture the nation on how the current system is not for changing. Each of these men, all of whom are over 60, are portrayed as independent industry experts, but each have incredibly flawed CVs, and even worse, they have deep ties to Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. But why is Rory Hearn not on these panels? Over the last 10 years, Rory has been the most outspoken and well-read critic of the current housing policies. He is the exact type of independent industry expert we should be hearing from. But no, let's get Eddie Hobbs out there to tell us how to run the country.
You know, a man has 2 cows, he sells one of the cows, he gets a bull, he grows his farm, he grows his business, he creates employment. But with socialism, a man has 2 cows, the state takes the one cow off him and gives it to his most idle neighbour.
According to RTE, this is one of the leading economic minds in the whole country, and I find it genuinely offensive. We need to start realising what RTE is. Nothing more than state-run media. And how could anyone deny this when RTE's Director of Strategy is Rory Coveney, the brother of the current Minister for Foreign Affairs, Simon?
Everyone agrees that those funds should not be buying houses, and I absolutely agree with that. But international funds, and I don't like some of the names we call.
But as we are presented with these pandering talking heads, the real professionals are busy at work. None more so than Orange Capital Partners, who this week have just announced that they are buying 300 homes en masse in Portmarnock. Orange Capital Partners say that they expect to be collecting rent in Ireland for the next 50 years. But remember, they're structured as a fund, so they'll pay 0 income tax on any of their rent. Zero zilch nada. And when they go to sell their properties, if they structure it right, they'll pay 0 capital gains tax as well. Orange Capital Partners are quickly becoming one of Ireland's biggest and most influential landlords. They are currently ranked 9th but are rising fast. So who are they? The founders, Victor van Bommel and Heide Rietsma, are ex-Goldman Sachs.
What can you tell me? Can you tell me who you represent? I'll give it a go. No, okay, I failed on that one.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
We have no clue who the ultimate shareholders are in Orange Capital Partners, but it's fair to assume that they have extremely close ties to Old Man Sachs. So let that sink in. One of Ireland's fastest growing and biggest landlords is Old Man Sachs. And ask yourself this, do you think that they see housing as a fundamental right or just another commodity?
What's a good yield these days?
A blended yield on residential is probably around 4% in Europe.
With high risk or moderate risk, do you think?
That's moderate risk, for sure.
I wonder how the 300 families that move into these new houses in Portmarnock will be described. Will they be moderate or high risk? As far as Goldman Sachs are concerned, they are just cattle to be milked for as much yield as possible. These are not homes that are being built. They offer no long-term security. They are financial assets to be used to squeeze their inhabitants at every available opportunity. It's also worth pointing out that Orange Capital's Chief Financial Officer used to be the CFO of Roundhill Capital, who we've talked about on this channel before. Roundhill hit all the headlines last year when they bought up entire estates in Maynooth and Dublin. This illustrates the close relationships that these funds have with each other and their ability to act in a cartel-like fashion in order to lobby governments and enact policies and procedures that are in their favour. And of course, it's even easier for funds to lobby the government when the CEO of the Irish Association of Investment Managers is an ex-Fine Gael minister, Michael Darcy.
I'm very concerned, Claire, when I hear people simplistically thinking you can change something by changing a political party.
I want to make it clear that I am in no way politically affiliated. Yet. But this statement from Michael O'Flynn that nothing will change by electing a different political party is laughable at best. Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil have flown far too close to the sun for my liking. Giving these investment funds a complete carte blanche to buy and hold residential property while paying zero tax is absolutely ridiculous. To make it worse, it will inevitably be the state itself that ends up renting or subsidizing the rent for these properties. These funds are nothing more than leeches on the back of the Irish taxpayer. And despite knowing all this, many people will continue to vote Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael because of some bullshit local family or traditional reason. And that to me is what makes no sense.
It make no sense, yeah, it make no sense, no, it make no sense, yeah, make no sense, make no sense, no, make no sense, young boy, make no sense, no, it make no sense. I got hit